tasty pastry. It's a low-carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods, Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Thursday, October 20th, 2022. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. If you have kids, at some point in their lives, you've done the thing where you've tiptoed out of the bedroom while they fall asleep, and then you hold your breath because you know if they wake up, all hell is going to break loose. Believe me, I've experienced that. And unfortunately for all the guys in the men's open, whatever brief moment of peace they might have had, well, is over. Because someone made a huge mistake by waking up Brandon Curry. A few days ago, this video leaked from someone in Brandon's camp out at Oxygen Gym. And from the way it looks, the reigning and defending Arnold Classic champ might be gearing up to add some more hardware to his trophy case. I don't think there's any question of the fact that Brandon that we saw on stage back in March was the best version of him that we've seen in quite some time, which means that he's better than he was a few years ago when he won his first Olympia title. So if Ramy shows even one small chink in his armor, that might be all it takes, because Brandon will be more than happy to take advantage of the opportunity. Now, if Brandon is the sleeping giant that everyone is hoping not to wake, Derek must be the long-range missile that everyone sees coming, but they still really aren't quite sure what to think about it. If you've been paying attention to some of the stuff he's been floating around over the last week or so, then you've probably started to notice that there's a growing contingency of people who believe that Derek Lunsford is going to be a top 5 finisher this year, which would be absolutely insane when you consider the fact that we were planning on him defending his Olympia title up until a few months ago. And it's even crazier when you take into account that we never saw Flex Lewis do something like this, and he's the best 212 bodybuilder of all time. Derek is an anomaly, which means that there is no precedent for what is going on right now. He's completely in a league of his own. So if he can break into the top 5 at the Open Mr. Olympia, like people are predicting, I think there's a solid argument to be made for his run being one of the best 12-month transformations that we've seen in the modern era. I'm sure someone will debate me on this down in the comments section, but by and large, when it comes to bodybuilding, I think people judge success and failure based solely on what the expectations were heading into the show, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you think about it, because all of that stuff is subjective in and of itself. And we're also talking about outcomes in a subjective sport. So with that in mind, I have a question that I was hoping to get some feedback on. If Michael Krizo doesn't win the Prague Pro and qualify for the Olympia, should his 2022 contest season still be considered a success? Because for 99% of the athletes in any division, winning your pro card is a major milestone that would be considered a highlight of your season. And in most cases, it's actually the highlight of someone's career, which makes it seem a whole lot harsh to say that this whole thing was just a wash because he didn't meet expectations that were placed on him by other people. But then again, I could be way off base here. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Does Michael Krizo have to make it to the Olympia stage this year for a season to be considered a true success? Or is getting his foot in the door all that we should reasonably expect? And our final update of the day is coming to you courtesy of Nathan Asha, now that he's finally decided to come out of hibernation. Nathan's gone on the record to say that the 2022 season will essentially be a wash for him, mostly due to the time he missed as a result of bicep surgery he had earlier this year. But if you're a Nathan fan, even though he's been non-committal about when he's getting back on stage, you should still take what we're seeing now as a good sign. Because he's never going to be training with this sort of intensity if he doesn't have all his ducks in a row. Prior to the injury near the end of the 2020 season, he put together a run of 4 or 5 shows that was easily the best stretch of his career. So I can't imagine that he's too far off of where he was then, which means that if he stays healthy and decides to refocus his efforts on regaining his championship form, it won't take long before he's firing on all cylinders again. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.